Hello dear tea friends from around the world. Welcome to a new tea class with me, Stéphane Erler. I'm the founder of the TeaMasters blog and the T-Masters.com tea boutique. Every Sunday I do these classes to teach about tea, to let you better understand this wonderful beverage, how to brew it and how to appreciate it and understand how it's made and all the delicacies about tea. So today we are going to compare two different Qingxing oolongs. This is, I think, already our third class about Taiwan oolongs. I have prepared a sampler in my boutique, T-Masters.com. You can find it. In the previous two classes, we first studied Alishan Jinshuan oolong, and 2 weeks ago we studied and compared it with Qingxing oolong. And now the same Qingxing oolong from that we studied already 2 weeks ago, we are going to compare it with another Qingxing oolong from a different farmer, but from the same village. Now this first one was harvested on April 10th of this year, and this one on May the 1st also of this year. And both come from the same village, Jiangshuhu, which is part of the Alishan area. I've explained it last time in great detail. The two plantations belong to two cousins actually, and the one from the 1st of May is an organic plantation, so I've called it organic 1 because there is an organic 2 that we'll study next time in 2 weeks. And I wanted to compare it because this one was harvested on April 10th, so 3 weeks difference, and we already can see very different shape in these two teas. If you have them, if the best is for you to do this class with me at the same time, open your samplers and check the leaves of these two teas. We can see the leaves from April 10th are smaller, greener. Now in terms of smell, not such a big difference, but definitely the shape is very different. The leaves from May 1st are fewer in number because they are larger. Oh, and by the way, to make really a very good precise comparison, I have weighed both teas, and today I'm using like competition standard 3 grams for both teas. That's why we can really compare them and realize that maybe it's because it's the bottom of my package for this April 10th Qingxing oolong, but they are quite small in size, and here I'm using the top of the package, so maybe that's also one reason why they're a bit larger, but maybe not. Let's find out more about these teas, and the best way is to unfold the mystery by unfolding the leaves. So let's preheat our guy once first, because the water is super boiling hot. We let it cool down a little bit, otherwise it will be a bit too strong. Hopla. Let's cool it down a bit, wait for the guy one lid to get warm. It's the case, and we can empty. Here and here. Like usual, recommend using your hand to carefully place the leaves in the center of your guy one. Yes. And now we'll make the leaves dance by pouring on the side with rather strong flow, so that it will help to make the leaves swirl in the guy one, and easier, it will be easier for them to open up, unfold. There you go. A nice dance, and we seal, and with this one as well. Et voilà. It swirls well. Now I assume they have rested. What we can do is give them one more swirl with the lid. The same here. And we shut it down. I want to do one in the bow. And yeah, so there are a couple of differences we saw. The color is lighter in April 10th than in May 1st. The leaves are also larger. Now, we already know that they were harvested at different times, even though they are the same cultivar, and these two plantations are very close by, less than 1 kilometer away. This May 1st plantation is located at a higher altitude, but maybe compared to this one, it's roughly 100 meters higher, so it's not that much higher that the leaves need to wait a full 3 weeks to grow to the same size. So what we can probably deduct already is that these leaves are more mature, were picked a bit later, in the growth stage, whereas these leaves were picked at a younger stage. Now, this of course happens for all kinds of reasons. It can be very conscious decision by the farmer. Okay, I want to pick this field earlier because I want to make a very fresh, very fragrant type of high-mounted oolong with very young leaves. Or maybe he has to, because his workforce can only work one plantation after the other, and so some plantations, if they are roughly coming at maturity at the same time, some will be harvested a little bit earlier, some right on time, and some a little bit later when they are maybe over mature. So maybe we are in this status that the leaves were really harvested much earlier than compared to the maturity. Now, let's see what is the impact of these two very different harvest times on these leaves. The leaves have opened up completely. We have waited quite a long time on purpose in order to accentuate the character of the tea. So we pour 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 in order to have a very balanced flavor in all 3 cups. The same here. Okay. Let me check something with the microphone. I hear that it's not working very well. We are definitely doing this live, so I hope that the sound is a bit better now. And please let me know if it's the case. I hope it is. We already can see a difference in color in these two teas. The younger, the April 10 Oolong has a more intense color, more concentrated color, whereas the May 1st harvested Oolong has a much lighter color. Maybe here we can see it. I hope you can also see it in your cup. Oh, okay. And we can smell the differences. Okay, see, there's one more way to improve the sound. Now the camera is shaking. Ooh. Okay. Now the tea had time to cool down while I was doing this. We can drink it. And this one. Okay. Thank you, Elizabeth, for your indications. I'm glad you can hear me better. Definitely the aromas are much more intense in this more concentrated brew than in this one, which is lighter in aspect. This one has, I would say, it's less fragrant, but it has a cleaner, pure, and better taste. And it's almost as if there were a trade-off in on April 10, because the leaves were harvested very young, so they are smaller. They are also harvested at a fresher time when the weather was cooler. Here we have already a bit warmer temperature. We can see a bit more oxidation signs on the edges of the leaves. Of course, it's still very slight oxidation because we are, after all, drinking High Mountain Oolong, one of the lightest oxidized tea. But here it is even less, and so it's even more floral, even lighter in aroma, and because the leaves are less mature, they are also more concentrated and have less aftertaste. Something else is, from the touch of the leaves, they appear also a bit thinner. Here, these more mature leaves, when we touch them, they appear to have a bit more backbone, more strength in them. They're also expanding more slowly because they are larger. So definitely this tea will take more brews to release all its aromas, where this one the aromas are coming out faster in a more concentrated way. It is actually a very good bargain because it's a bit cheaper than this one, especially now I've put there's a 10% promotion till the end of the month, so it's even more affordable. Very fresh, but why in my also for the farmers, this one is comes from a little bit higher plantation and from a more organic tea field, so it also grows a little bit slower because it has it receives less help from fertilizers. So I feel it has a much smoother, sweeter taste. So it's two different characters. This tea, if you want to brew it to perfection, you could brew it a bit in a shorter brews because it's so concentrated and the small leaves open up quite fast. So you don't want to brew it too long. Whereas this one is typically the type of high mountain oolong that you can brew for with more power and for longer time, because it is much more the aftertaste that you are going to get. So a tea for aftertaste and a tea for fragrance. There are teas for all types of characteristics and personal preferences. I think it's very interesting to compare them. This one really much less fragrant than here, but they are coming from the same village, so, and they are both Qingxing Oolong from the same year, only 3 weeks difference. So this really shows that even in the same region, Alishan, even in the same village, you can have completely different characters in terms of high mountain oolongs, one more fragrant, one more about the taste. And so it's also, it will help you to better know yourself. What kind of tea do you prefer? This type with more fragrance or with more aftertaste? Can you feel the clean, long aftertaste, or are you more do you more appreciate the fragrance, the floral fragrances of this tea? It will help you, I think, on your journey to better understand high mountain oolongs. And so if you like this lesson, please give me a thumbs up. Continue to follow me. We will continue with this sampler in 2 weeks. So if you have not received it, order it now. You will probably receive it before the next lesson. There are still lots of great teas to sample and to study. And next week we are going to study a book by T. Parker. Part 2, Ui, the Ui tea. We already started 3 weeks ago. I invite you to listen to this class next week at the same time. In the meantime, I will check if you have more questions on my feed here in the comments. If you don't, then I will simply wish you a good Sunday. Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for the help with the sound. I'm glad that it worked better at the end. Thank you. And yeah, your tea is on the way, by the way. Well, you already know that. And thank you also to all those who have placed an order this weekend. There were lots of nice orders. all my thoughts to those who are suffering from the impact of the hurricane in Florida. Take good care, brew good tea, and good luck. Thank you very much, and see you next week for another tea class. Bye bye.